Hey everybody, it's Actual Dragon Tears here. So, a while back, I did a top 5 defenders in Rainbow Six Siege, and while that in itself is quite outdated, I never did do a top 5 attackers. That was actually on Dangerous's channel when we did the collab. Well, now that it's been a couple months and the game has changed a lot, we've gotten to see new people or new operators added and diff operators changed, I thought I would take a swing at the top 5 attackers in Rainbow Six Siege. So, let's get right into it. Now, remember that these are all my personal opinions. You may have different ones. That's okay. You might think a different operator is better at the game, or better in the game, and that's okay. But getting right into it, at number 5, we have Capitao. And this, the BOPE was not in Siege when I made my original video, and the reason why I think he makes the list at number 5 is because overall he's just a very good operator. His weapons are pretty good. The Para 308 I like a lot, and the M249 I feel is the superior LMG. That's opinion. That is a lot of opinion, but I like the M249. But the Para 308 has like no recoil, but it hits like a truck. So that's why I think his weapons are good. And the PTR 92, I think, that's the pistol. It's a decent pistol. It's a Beretta. But on his gadget side, that's where we kind of see his usefulness. He is really good at getting out people from cover, as well as covering his teammates as they push up. So, for example, if a person is behind a shield, or even now with Tachanka, since he has been buffed with his face shield thing, if you were managed to get that thing by his feet, it wipes him out quickly. And that goes for really anyone behind cover. And then with his smoke grenades, I feel that they are better than the normal. Well, better is a subjective term. I feel that they are better at covering you from certain angles. So if you shoot it in a doorway, it will block the entire doorway. But if you want to say cover a room in smoke, it's not really going to be good for that. So, but that's why I meant as when his team is pushing up, he can mark a doorway, or even if he has to, he can mark it like inside or by the hostage, and so you can get in, grab the hostage while using the cover of smoke. And I feel that is a good asset to his team. At number 4, we have Twitch. Now, I decided to go with Twitch instead of Thatcher because of a couple reasons. First off, I feel that her weapons are fairly better. The FAMAS is a high rate of fire, but also has good damage. So if you can manage to control the recoil, that thing can absolutely wipe people. And not to mention that the DMR, I think I got a buff recently that has made it one of the better DMRs. I know a lot of people still don't use it, but I mean, hey, maybe give it a try. So her weapons are fairly decent, but the main reason I picked her over Thatcher was her gadget, the shock drone. The shock drone can essentially do the exact same thing that Thatcher does, only it can do more. So if you get two, so that's something that changed, and that has bumped her up in the ranks. And you get one at the starting phase, which is good because if you manage to get in and you can destroy a jammer and find the objective, and you can kind of sit there, and then as they set their stuff up, immediately zap it so it's gone. And even if that gets destroyed, you get another one. And the reason why when I said she can do more than what Thatcher can do, Thatcher can just destroy electronics. Well, she can damage players and destroy electronics. So even if the damage is pretty small, it's only about 10 damage. If you down someone, that's 1 or 2 shots and they're dead. So you can finish off downed players, which is really good when they crawl behind cover. It takes them out of the fight completely instead of giving them a chance to be revived. So that's why she makes it to the number 4 spot. At number 3, we have Montaigne. Now, I know this is going to be a controversial one. A shield operator? Yes, I chose a shield operator, and specifically Montaigne, or Montan, whatever, however you pronounce it. I chose him because over the other shield operator, Blitz, because his shield is more consistent. I've found with Blitz, one, his gadget is inconsistent, so sometimes it blinds them, sometimes it doesn't, and just the shield coverage is inconsistent. There would be times where I'm not aiming down sights, I'm just standing there, and I'll get headshotted from directly in front of me. And it's annoying, and I don't know why it happens. But with Montaigne, it feels a lot more consistent, especially when the shield is extended. And the extendable shield is what cracks him forward to be in number 3. It offers great cover for your team so that you can push up with them behind you, as well as now that you can survive nitro cells. Once he extends his shield, he is almost indestructible. So if you really want to, you can play the distraction. You can go in from one doorway and block it. And of course they'll be flustered, they'll try and deal with you, and your teammate can sneak around back or be right behind you and kill those guys who are distracted by you, and you're soaking up the bullets. That's the main reason I chose Montaigne for the number 3 spot. At number 2, we have a toss of either Sledge or Buck. In my eyes, they are essentially the same operators with different guns and slightly different abilities that do the same thing, or gadgets that do the same thing. Of course, Buck, he gets the Master Key, which blows a hole that is able to be vaulted through, and Sledge just kind of smashes a hole that can be vaulted through. Both of them, since Buck has been updated, do about the same size hole. Buck, of course, has the added benefit of having essentially a third gun, but I feel that Sledge gets the better weapon. Sledge's weapon has a lot more controllable recoil, mainly because he can use a foregrip, but he doesn't get a DMR, and his second weapon is actually a shotgun, the worst shotgun in the game, because it's really inconsistent. Wow, Buck, on the other hand, gets a DMR and a rifle, which both are pretty good. I prefer the DMR personally, but they're both really good. So that is why I chose them to be on the number 2 spot. Now, before we get to our number 1 spot, I want to give an honorable mention, and that honorable mention will go to Fuse, especially after his update that has turned him into quite the killing power. It seems like whenever I plant his cluster charge, it will get someone, at least one person. The reason why he's an honorable mention, not on the list, is because his biggest crutch is hostage. He is not useful on that mode almost at all. I know people can make him work. They can fuse the room right next to the hostage and possibly get someone like that. But majority of the time when someone goes fuse, they kill the hostage, and he's not that good. But other than that, he is amazing killing power. He gets both a hard-hitting LMG and the AK-12, which I feel is one of the better assault rifles. A bit high recoil, but it handles nicely. And he also gets a shield in case that's your thing. And finally, at number 1, drumroll please, Thermite. Big surprise. He is the big head honcho of the attackers. Almost every team needs a Thermite. The reason why I chose Thermite over the newly added Hibana is because I find Hibana is extremely inconsistent. Sometimes her holes aren't vaultable. Even though you've put 2 like right on top of each other and it looks like it's vaultable, it looks about the right size, it's not vaultable. Other times you might misplace it and you'll have this like tiny strip of wall in the middle that prevents you from vaulting. So in terms of breachability, I gave it to Thermite, and in terms of weapons, I gave it to Thermite. Thermite and Hibana have similar weapons. They both have rifles and they both have shotguns. But the reason why I say Thermite's weapons are better because one, he has a more manageable recoil and has 31 bullets instead of the 21 that Hibana gets. And his shotgun is the semi-auto M1014 instead of the pump-action Nova, which I have a grudge against the Nova. I can never get that thing to work, while the M1014 is notorious for being a really good shotgun. So yeah, that is why I chose Thermite over Hibana. And I chose Thermite because he is vital to your team. You almost need him because a lot of these objectives have so many walls that are reinforced that it's almost impossible to breach in without him. So those were my top 5 +1 attackers for Rainbow Six Siege. Leave your opinions. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? What would be your top 5? So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm happy to start making videos again. Anyway, leave a rating if you liked it or disliked it, and also, yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.